Did you catch it? Did you miss it? That was it, guys. That was the last time you will ever see the sunrise of the first day in this playthrough of The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask 3D. Welcome back to a special episode. In this one, I'm going to be going over to the ocean fishing hole, and I'm going to show you exactly how to catch every single fish up in there. It takes several hours of work, but I'm going to edit everything and do the commentary after the video here. And it should be an exciting episode and definitely help out those of you who are looking to get all the fish. It's really not that much information out there on the web right now on how to catch these, so hopefully this will be pretty helpful for you guys. Let's start off by actually showing you where this thing is. Fastest way to get there is to soar on over to Zora Cape, and then you can swim on over there. It's actually next to the Great Fairy Fountain from the Great Bay Temple. And yeah, can you believe it? This is the last 3-day cycle. Because right after I catch all the fish here, I'm going to go straight to Clock Tower and finish up the game in the next episode. Can you believe that? It's crazy. It's been a fun adventure so far. We're going to finish off by fishing. You know, the world's about to end here, the moon's about to crash, but we got to catch some fish. Real important stuff to do here. So you can just come here to the coast and then you can jump across these platforms and head on over to the fishing hole. And here we are. Really like this fishing hole because it doesn't have a barrier. It just drains out into the ocean, which is pretty cool. So let's go talk to our friend here. Hey son, you feel like going fishing? No time limit, 50 rupees. Free if you got a fishing hole pass. Again, the fishing hole pass you can get from several minigames throughout Clock Town, like the Deku Scrub minigame or the Honey Darling shop. But I'm just going to use my rupees here. Alright, so let's do this. So, over here on the side is a poster of all the fish, and I'm going to go from left to right and catch them one by one. So let's begin over here. This is the dancing Sea Bream, lives in the ocean, drawn to the flowing rhythmic movement, mesmerizing dance moves are its weakness. So this fish is available on all days between 6 AM and 6 PM, and you can use the Camaro mask to dance around a little bit, and that will make the fish vulnerable to being caught. So after he's vulnerable, you can take off the mask and cast your line. Use the sinking lure, of course. You should be able to catch that bad boy. There he is. Got a bite there. Nice. So if you actually try to swim out past the barrier here of this fishing hole, the shop owner here will kind of stop you and tell you not to swim out into the depths. Whatever. I like the open area here. I really enjoy the concept. And if you missed how to catch all the fish in the swamp hole, go ahead and watch the previous episode. I show all of those. And this one over here in the ocean is actually significantly more difficult. Some of the fish are harder to spawn. They're harder to catch. They'll actually let go of your line at times. So I caught a lively dancing Sea Bream. It's 21 centimeters. Nice. Let's see what's next. So we got the Bashful Angler, lives in the ocean, a cowardly fish that hates attention, easier to catch for people who don't stand out. So you can use the stone mask here, and you'll hear a jingle, and then you should be able to catch him. He likes to hang out in this corner here by the waterfall usually. And you definitely need the sinking lure because he likes to stay near the depth. It's a shy little fish that likes to hang out in the bottom. Not have any contact. So there he is. You can barely make him out there. He's thinking about biting my bait, and there he goes. Pretty easy to reel in. But like I said, some of the fish here in this fishing hole actually let go of your line pretty often. It's kind of frustrating, I guess. But it is definitely a welcome challenge. You definitely have to work to catch all these fish. And there we go. You caught a lively Bashful Angler 40 centimeters long. Not bad. I love the way the stone mask looks too. Let's see what's next. Looks like we got the fairy fish, lives in the ocean. So pretty, it could be mistaken for a fairy. The way it moves is just like a stray fairy. So that is your hint to put on the Great Fairy's mask. And that way you can actually catch these guys. And they're pretty easy to spot if you go in the pond as a Zora Link and look around. They're pink fish. And they're present on all days here. You can use the sinking lure to catch them. And there's one on the left. Hopefully he'll bite. Come on, buddy. Just when you think he's not interested, he comes sweeping in and snags that line. Let's reel him in. You almost feel bad catching these fairy fish, man. I feel like they would be pretty peaceful. Cool looking fish. 9 centimeters, not bad. Alright, let's take a look at our next target. It's going to be the Termina bass, lives in the ocean. A gallivanting fish that travels the sea far and wide, hangs out near the ocean surface. So you actually have to use the regular fishing rod here that floats in order to catch these guys. And they kind of tend to hang out towards the shore here on the beach. And this is one of the fish that tend to let go of the hook pretty easily. But there's so many of them that you really shouldn't have a problem catching it. They're here on all days, and they're always here. They're also a little tricky to get to latch on to the line. But if you're patient enough, eventually one will bite. And for some reason, even though this guy's all the way in the shore, this was actually a pretty long battle with this fish here, man. It took me a while to reel him in. Finally got this bad boy. So 43 centimeters, I feel like that's pretty big since that was such an epic battle. So next up, we got a boss fish. The savage shark lives in the ocean, a marine meanie that eats other fish. May go after other fish once you've caught them. So this is a boss fish, if you remember from the previous episode. In order to get boss fish to spawn, you have to spend several, I guess, in-game hours fishing here. I say, to be safe, catch about 20 fish, and then you can start coming in and out of the fishing hole and the boss fish will spawn. And then you can just sink down as a Zora Link and see if the fish is there. So I'm trying to catch this guy over here to use as bait for the shark. And this guy is actually kind of tricky to get because they move around a lot. They're not necessarily in one spot. So here you can see that I'm going to keep this guy on my line for quite a while because I just want to have a fish on my line and then just wait around for a shark to pass on by and take notice. So let's see what happens here. By the way, this guy, the shark, he can spawn on any day. It's a big fish I have on my line too, man. Should be drawing up sharks everywhere. That fish looks meaty, man. Yeah. I love fish. I love barbecuing fish. A lot of people, they've never barbecued fish, and that blows my mind. You gotta throw that thing on the grill, man. I'm telling you, it's ridiculous. It's awesome. Tastes awesome. So there's no point in getting hasty here. A lot of people will be like, oh my god, there's no shark. I'm just gonna leave this fish and try again. Nah, man, just keep a fish on your line and wait for a shark to swim by. They'll eventually grab it, I promise. And there's a shark right there on the left. He's thinking about it. He's not convinced yet. He's not totally convinced, but he's thinking about it. I'm gonna try to flaunt this fish a little more. Make it look more tasty. That's what I'm talking about. There he goes, man. He really wants it. Yeah, he got it. He looks pretty pissed off, too. Look at him. Looks like he's having a seizure, dude. Look at that fish, man. Just flopping around. Now, I would assume that if you get in the water with this guy, Zorlink, he'll eat you and damage your hearts, but that's not the case. He won't even touch you. In fact, he'll run away from me because he's a security cat. There he goes. He puts up quite a fight here when you're trying to reel him in. But no real danger of him actually letting go of the line. Oh, we getting close, man. Here he comes. We got him. Pretty cool looking fish. 181 centimeters long. That is not bad. So let's see what's next here. We have got the Gobe. So it lives in the ocean near the shore. Fond of river deltas, often spotted in the shallows. Alright, so you can use either the sinking lure or the regular one. They'll bite either of them, and there's plenty of them all around. Shouldn't have any trouble finding them. And even though it says they like sunlight, you can catch them at night, as I am doing here. They're here on all days, and they're basically always here, so no worries. Pretty easy to catch these guys. Six centimeters, not bad. So next up, we got the Tuna. Lives in the ocean. Seeing one is supposedly good luck for impending nuptials. And it loves ceremonies. So you can actually use your couple's mask, and this guy will pop out. So he is not available on the second day. It must be either the first day or the final day, or he will not appear. And even so, he's very rare. He's one of the more difficult ones to get to appear. But what you want to do is put on your couple's mask and swim around. If you hear the jingle, that means you got him. And then you can try to catch him. Now, it's not like the swamp fishing hole where you can kind of put your mask on at any spot and you hear the jingle. You'll only hear the jingle when you're close to the fish, so you might want to put it on and swim around all over the pond. Or you can put on your Zora mask and just see if the fish is there. But this one doesn't look too distinctive, so you could easily miss it, I guess. It's a rather large fish, so I guess that's unique. Pretty cool though. Oh, we got him. 105 centimeters, man. That's a big fish. It's a cool looking fish, too. Enjoy it. So let's see what is next here. We got the skullfish, lives in the ocean, a mystery to oceanologists. Is it alive? Dead? Enjoys the company of skeletons. So you can put on the Skullkita hat here, or the captain's hat, and you'll hear the jingle, and then you can try to find them by the ripples. They only come out at night, between 6 p.m. and 6 a.m. on all days. And they're somewhat rare, but I don't know. They're usually here most of the nights when you come in and out. They tend to hang out more towards the bottom, so the sinking lure is a must. There's one right there. Nice. Now, what I don't understand is this dude doesn't have a stomach, man. Like, where's this... Why is he trying to eat something when he's a freaking skullfish? He's just a skeleton. I just don't understand, man. These fish, man, they're crazy. They're crazy. Alright, man. It's kind of spiky. 32 centimeters long. Not bad. Let's see what the next one is going to be. So we got the Ambrosia Amberjack. Lives in the ocean. Known by different names as it grows. Prefers swimming in deeper water. Okay, so this guy usually hangs out towards the north end of the fishing hole here. Towards the open ocean. And they're not too rare, but they're not always here. So you definitely want to check. They hang out kind of halfway between the surface and the bottom, but you must use your sinking lure. They kind of look like Tuna, which is why I think it makes looking for Tuna a little bit difficult. Because sometimes you glance over this, and you might think it's just one of these guys when it actually is Tuna. Nice, 33 centimeters. Next up, we got this dude, the grand swordfish, lives in the ocean, very large. Most often found in open waters, requires superhuman strength to reel it in. This guy is the most difficult one to catch. He's another boss fish, so again, you have to spend several hours fishing for him, and then he'll appear once you walk in and out. And he is very hard to, like, actually bite the line. It took me forever to figure out how to get him to bite the line. You could just rely on luck, but I figured out a method that was somewhat consistent. What you want to do is you want to get the line towards him, and then you want to reel it in, and then wiggle your analog stick left and right a little bit. And once you're doing that, you want to let the bait get a little bit ahead of him. Or you want the fish to get ahead of the bait a little bit. And once he's a little bit ahead of the bait, you want to quickly change the angle on your analog stick and reel in. Just kind of do like a jerky movement. And I found that doing that, he'll usually grab on the line. If you just kind of try to reel in next to him, he'll never bite, man. This guy is a pain. And it said you require superhuman strength to pull him in. So you can either use your Goron mask, but if you use the Goron mask, you have to do it very quickly because he will let go of the line. This guy's a pain to catch. There's also another mask that you can use that gives you superhuman strength. Spoiler alert for the next episode, but it is the Fierce Deity mask, and you can use that and it'll make reeling this guy in a little bit easier. And finally got him, man. I was so happy when I caught this one because it was such a pain. 159 centimeters, very happy with that. I think this is the most difficult fish to catch. Next up, we got the ninja flounder, lives in the ocean, faithful pets for the ninjas of Ikana, utterly obedient to their ninja master. This guy is pretty rare as well. It's difficult to get him to spawn, but you can use the Garo mask and you'll hear the jingle, and then you can catch him. And as you should know from your marine biology or whatever, flounder like to hang out towards the bottom, so you definitely need to do your sinking lure. And like I mentioned, this is probably one of the more difficult ones to get to spawn. He's pretty rare, but just keep trying, just keep swimming with the Garo mask and coming in and out, and you should be able to grab him. There he is, man, Mr. Flounder. He can be here on any day, though, so you don't have to worry about that. And for those of you who didn't watch the previous episode, you can just walk in and out without buying the fishing rod, just to see if the fish you want is there, so that way you're not wasting money. There we go, we got a 21 centimeter long ninja flounder. I love the way the Garo mask looks. Look at that, man. Pretty cool. Now there is another secret fish here, another legendary fish. Much like the swamp fishing holes, Lord Chapu Chapu. This guy does not appear on a poster, and this is the great fairy fish. He's going to spawn, or I should say she's going to spawn on those colorful rocks you see right there. Now, this fish, you need to use your great fairy mask and reel in one of these regular fairy fish and use it as bait for the great fairy fish. Now, you need to be somewhat close to those glowing rocks, but not super close. Just needs to be in the general vicinity, kind of like where I am right now. And then eventually the great fairy fish will make its way over here and gobble this fish up. It's kind of a form of cannibalism, I guess. You just have to be patient. The most difficult thing about this fish is that you have to be kind of lucky with it, because it's very rare to get it to spawn, number one. But not only do you need this boss fish to spawn, you also need the fairy fish to spawn, or else you can't have the bait. And look, he wants to gobble it. He's thinking about it. Come on. Man, dude. You need to eat that thing. There we go. Eventually, it will snag it up and begin the battle. This is a boss fish, as you can hear by the music. So again, you do need to spend several hours fishing in the first day or so. Catch about 20 fish, and then you can walk in and out, and this guy has the chance of spawning. Now, this dude will only spawn on the 3rd day. So he will not spawn on day 1 and 2. And like I said, if he's in his little corner, but there are no regular fairy fish in the pond, there's no chance you can catch him, because you need the fairy fish. Now, if you have fairy fish that aren't close to this little cave, you can kind of try to lure them in with your fishing rod. Don't actually catch them. Just kind of reel them in a little bit and then let them go, and then just kind of try to get them close to this little cave here. And then eventually this guy will bite. So enjoy the battle here. It's quite a long one. Look at that dude just flopping around. Oh man, so close. Look how big that thing is. Oh man, look at that. Caught a fairy fish, 438 centimeters long. Look at those little mutant legs it has. Those little mutant legs. Jumping jellyfish, I don't believe it. That there fish is the one they call the queen of the ocean. Good work, pal. Congrats on all that. Alright guys, so that is all of the fish for the ocean fishing hole. Let's go and actually take a look at my poster board over here, so we can look at all the fish together one more time, and you can see all the sizes for my fish. And like the previous episode, if you want to leave in the comments the size of the fish you've caught, I'd be very interested in seeing that, especially for the great fairy fish. I kind of want to see what different sizes are there. So let's take a look here. We got the Determinacy Bass, 43 centimeters. My Gobe is 7. Ambrosia Amberjack at 33. Bashful Angler at 40. My Dancing Sea Bream is 21. Then I got my Fairy Fish at 9 centimeters. Ninja Flounder at 21. That's a cool fish, man. My Skullfish is 32 centimeters. And my Tuna is 105. This stupid dude, Grand Swordfish, 159. And Savage Shark at 181. And the Great Fairy Fish, 438 centimeters. Awesome. Pretty proud of my collection here. So I am done fishing. And guys, believe it or not, we have done everything there is to do in Termina. The only other collectibles left to get is up in Clock Tower. So we're going to head on over there. We're going to get ready for the final episode of this series. Get excited. I am pretty pumped. I've had so much fun recording this game so far, and I can't believe it's coming to an end. Kind of like how the timing worked out here with the Great Fairy Fish. Gives me just enough time to come back to town and deposit my rupees. Not that it matters at this point in the game, but it gives me just enough time to do that and then head on over to Clock Tower. Since it is open here on the eve of the festival. Look how empty Clock Town looks on the third day. I always like that. How deserted everything looks. Alright, so let's go on up here. I hope you guys are excited because in the next episode, we're going to conclude the series by going all the way up there. Nice. So be sure to take the vow of non-stop gaming and join the monastery by hitting the subscribe button, and I'll catch you guys for the finale in the next episode.